You can't stand what you can hear.
Oh yeah, no, I can't see it.
I know somebody going through it. You know the storm is almost over. 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 I be preaching to the masses like a pastor or a deacon. Everywhere you go, somebody mad just for no reason. Heart is full of pain, you can't let nobody see it. Sending out them prayers, Lord, I know somebody need it. Speaking out the truth, they be like they don't really like it. I knew the day was coming, y'all should just call me.
Got it for a while now. I can do this with my eyes closed. My baby wanna see me making shit. The realest one is in my circle. But I gotta keep it smart though. Can't find a nigga like Waldo. I be all up in the studio trying to write the next hit. Why you worry about the next bitch? She ain't worried about you. And I'm still in that monster. I don't really need a coupe. 4-door for your friends, baby. Don't hesitate to bring them through. Anything is possible, but you know I got the juice. Rolling with the ones that keep it A1.
All right, everybody, what's going on? Happy Sunday. Welcome to Dope Conversations. I want to send a shout out to everybody listening in. Thanks for listening. We got a very special guest today. Probably one of my inspirations since I've been in San Antonio. I've been watching this brother, man, make moves, make decisions. And him and his wife, man, are doing big things in the city. And I literally call him the it factor, like literally the it factor. Everything this guy does, he stamps it with it at the end of it to let y'all know that it is what it is. It's pure, it's organic, and you're gonna get whatever it is that he's serving. So I want to welcome everybody to Dope Conversations, Mr. Daryl Smith Sr. What's up, bro? How you doing today?
What's up, brother? I'm good. Blessed.
So you got a history, man. You got an extensive background. Like I've been doing your research, man. I pulled up your LinkedIn, your profile. So if anybody that's in the business game don't have LinkedIn profile, get one. But man, like you spent 8 years in the Air Force. You did some internships as a marketing and development at different companies. You are you're a Mason. You are an HBCU alumni from Texas. Texas Southern University. You are a member of the Brother Kappa Alpha Psi. Man, like you've been all over the place. And not to note, I ain't gonna try to, I ain't gonna try to kick the ring of death, but man, you received an award from the Tom Jordan Foundation. Like, man, like what's up, man?
Man, you took it way back.
I, I, I was taken way back when I saw the accolades. Like, man, you literally are living the epitome of the professional development and self development in your life, man. And it shows that you have a process. You had a process. You had a journey and to get to where you are right now. And let alone, man, just even having a little brief conversation, which I know you got more to come. So we're gonna get to that, but what I want people to understand is this conversation. Everybody who's tuning in for the first time, those conversations is literally a conversation where I bring on some very dope, inspirational individuals who have a story to tell. I look at them as the underdog. I watch their process. I go back and do some research and see how they're growing and becoming successful in their own lanes and making an impact in whatever community or whatever genre that they're doing business in. And it's definitely an honor to have Daryl on today. So, um, Daryl, we're gonna get into this conversation. We're gonna get into this conversation. So, where are you from?
I'm from San Antonio. Born and raised Northeast San Antonio. Graduated from Wagner 20 in '07. I was a military brat, so I moved back to San Antonio when I was in ninth grade. But half of my tenure, I grew up in North Carolina, Fayetteville, North Carolina. A lot of people don't know that. My pops was in the military, and he was from Rayford, North Carolina.
Okay.
And so I moved back to San Antonio when I was in the ninth grade, 10th grade year.
So one of the things that when I asked you to describe yourself, man, you hit the nail on the coffin, man. Again, words, the words you say and the work you're doing is definitely inspirational. You call yourself a husband first, father second, and an entrepreneur. So let's talk about girl in that order. So as a husband, man, how has being an entrepreneur affected you as a husband?
How's it? Honestly, it's been tough. I wouldn't say it's been all what's the saying? Roses. But I definitely say God put a helpmate in my life to definitely for me to endure the things that I'm going through like now, and so yeah, I definitely being a husband is definitely, especially when in the business starting it young. I would just say it took a lot of trial and effort. I mean, and we're still learning. We're progressing constantly. We're learning about each other. We just made what 6? It'd be 6 years in December. So it's been a journey.
I would like to call myself somewhat of an entrepreneur, and I know, man, that some of the struggles that I've had is that time, like taking away that time from of attention from your spouse, like how and one word that you can describe, man, like what was the thing that gave your spouse the energy or the inspiration to continue to push you to grow and develop to the person that you become?
Oh, if I had to sum it up in one word, it's balance.
Mhm.
Um, being able to balance the work life as well as the husband life. Your spouse. I'm a spouse, so it's like not and I learned that it took a while. When a business is fresh, you so focused and in tune with the business, right? So it's like now as I mature and our relationship gets older, it's definitely allowed me to realize that balance. I need to spend a little more time here before than the business and so on and so forth. So I think that balance definitely helps.
So anybody out there that's listening, if you don't really, if you're not catching what he's saying, the drift is, look, man, we like if you got a significant other, uh, it probably might behoove you to incorporate your significant other in your dreams so that they can be, for lack of better words, be your six.
Yeah.
Um, because I have these conversations, man, at work all the time about certain spouses, and some people they disagree or agree. But at this juncture, man, I think that I make the statement that people eyes roll, but at this juncture, the Jay Z that Jay Z is now, the elevated Jay Z, the elevated Ti, I think that they would not be who they were unless they had women in their successful or visionary women in their life or spiritual women in their lives, if you want to call it spiritual, but strong women in their lives to see things that they couldn't see, so that they can add their touch. I'm a firm believer, man, that a woman sees things that we don't see, or your spouse, for lack of a better word, sees things that we don't see, and it's very important to have them have them engaged and incorporate them because. Just as I'm reading reading about your background, man, you and your wife, man, y'all got this dynamic duo going on right now. Like,
Yeah.
who motivated who as far as starting this what I call the it empire?
I mean, I definitely think like I definitely brought the entrepreneurship to the relationship. My wife wasn't an entrepreneur when we first met, or just in our relationship. So I think just me. being, taking that leap of faith and doing things, and that kind of like inspired her in a sense to, hey, you know what. And I'm always, like I said, I'm always in her corner, like, hey, if you believe in something, just let's do it. Why not? I don't ever want to have that or be put in that situation where you like be 80 years old and like, man, we should have did that. I'd
Right.
rather like, hey, if it don't work, it don't work, but at least we tried. And that's kind of what I push on her at the same time. Just give it that effort, try it. Why not?
So so you got a military background as far as military brat, but you also served. How did the military inspire you? Or what role did the military play with getting you to the position that you're at now?
So just a background. So I went reserve Air Force, and that really kind of took me. So it took me to. I wanted that discipline. Because they would say like, because I started a business before the Air Force. I haven't already had my degree. I was already out. I could have went officer, but it was like my mindset was like, you know what? I'm college life. This is pre college life. So after college, I'm graduating, all that, have the business started. So I felt like I needed that discipline. I thought that the Air Force would give me that. And then I think I needed just like a break from, just the business hassle. So, I took that. And then it was hard, when I first started. So it's like when I went to the military, I used the military as a stepping stone.
Okay.
So my focus when I went to, basic training was like, you know what? Let me absorb this knowledge. Let me build this camaraderie with these guys, this network that I'm not a part of. So then when I get out, my business has that network now. Now I could affiliate, not using the military, but I mean just being transparent. I mean, that's what the military kind of uses us in a sense. So I felt like, when I came out, why not reinvest the money that they gave me back into my business? So that was like my first thing. When I came back, I was like, you know what? After basic training, I didn't trick off my money and then like that. I saved my money up and I put it right back in my business. So I mean, and then at the same time, when I came back, I was stationed in Lackland. So my mind was like, okay, this is the basic training of the Air Force. Why not? I could put I get that business relationship where I can put my business on a base. So my mind was already kind of thinking like long term, like, and now we have my one of my food trucks works on Fort Sam right now. So we there Monday through Friday. So I mean, but it wouldn't have been if I went to the military to expose me to that culture of life. A lot of people in San Antonio, that never been into the military, they don't realize the gold of all these bases. We got like 4 or 5 bases out here in San Antonio.
Yeah.
That's a different world.
Yeah.
People don't realize that. These are like, BAMSI, like the largest medical facility that houses military for schooling in the nation. Like my first location is 5 miles from there. I mean, that was strategic. So, just kind of sum that up. I'm sorry.
So I mean, I'm in the Air Force, and 17 years of the game. Everything you're saying right now, man, is 100% accurate. So everybody just understand everybody's background, everybody's story, how they got there, and everybody's route is different. And similar to Daryl, like one of the things I've always said, man, the military has given me a safety net to be able to invest, make mistakes, invest, and into my dreams, for lack of better words. Because I am a huge dreamer, and being the fact that I'm a dreamer, I kind of got like this safety net to make those mistakes and recover because I got medical, I got with all I got money coming in, I got a regular steady paycheck to where I can pay my bills and sit over here and invest over here and know that I can cover these bills for my for lack of better words tests and theories of tests. So and yes, being around individuals and for me going overseas, spending 8 years overseas, kind of exposed me to like, man, like America is so behind on a lot of things, and I can bring some of these experiences to America, and I can tap into my military network and grow. Like as a DJ, man, I attribute the military as growing me as a DJ, and I tell people all day long, it's like, man, people don't realize the amount of talent that comes out of the military. People look at the military, hey, as soldiers, airmen, Marines, fighting wars, so on and so forth. But it's people in the military to do exactly what you and I are doing is to put ourselves in a position to give our families a better way of life, and at the same time grow and develop ourselves as leaders and as and plant that seed as an entrepreneur if that's what we choose to do when we get out. I know a ton of military members, successful veterans that have gotten out and have become top of the game of what they're doing. I got a homegirl. Her name is Kendra Houston. She is probably going to be the champion for mental health when it comes to veteran women, based off of her background and experience, and she's using fitness as a way to tap into growth and development for mental health for everybody, not just military, but for everybody. But she's tapping into that military network to help grow her and develop her. So I can wholeheartedly agree with the skill set. I mean, even looking at your background, your position in the military as a personnelist, that is nothing but clerical data managing and foresight of pretty much human relations. So that ties into being able to manage employees, being able to understand the equal opportunity things that can or cannot arise, payroll. So yeah, I mean, the military kind of gave you that for lack of better words, vision, not really vision, but that rule and guide to step out and pursue your dreams. So my question is this, like, why? Okay, your first business. What was your first business?
The food truck.
Okay, so why the food truck?
So I did the food truck as a class project. So in my entrepreneurship class, I have my degree in marketing, business marketing. So in this class, we had to come up with a project, which was starting a business. Like we had to go through the whole, blueprints. We had to come up with it, manuals, whatever, business plan, X, Y, and Z. It was a group project. My wife probably watching this. Like I know the story verbatim, so I tell people all the time. But so long story short, well, it's not really a long story. I mean, a short story. But so I had this project of a food truck. We got an A in it. Shout out to my guy Quentin Hunter that brought it home, because without him, man, we wouldn't have got that A. But he freaked the project. But long story short, like I said, graduate the class. I had after I graduated, it's like I had all this information. I had a business plan. I had X, Y, and Z, and it was like why not? Why not do it? I think this is a real project. Something I can actually do. So I did my due diligence. I started doing research on food trucks in San Antonio, Craigslist, and I found one. The guy was like, he knew I was. The guy wanted like what about 18,000 or something like that for a truck. I was like, I didn't kind of have that kind of money, but I was determined, right? So I was like, I'll come back to this guy. It was like sitting in his yard. So it was Honduran food, pupusas, stuff like that. White truck, never forget. And I was coming back and forth, and I was like, hey, I'm serious. Let me do payments. So I did an agreement with the guy. So I put a down payment, and then he let me pay payments. And soon as I got the truck, man, I drove back to Third Ward. Like, hey, your boy in the taco truck. Hey, he thought I was playing. Like literally in Third Ward, black dude in a Hispanic taco truck. Pull up, and I mean, I'll never forget the day. I was like, man, I was excited. It had like man, that was the first truck, man. This is the only truck really now. And then yeah, man, and that's where it started. It was called Wing Express. So that was the original name was Wing Express. And I did that in Houston, good 2 years, about a year and a half before I went to the military.
So, man, I've always wanted, like, every time I think about a food truck, man, I get intimidated, man, because it seems like it's a tedious project. So you buy a truck for 18 grand or whatever the price is. How long did it take you from that process? Like, what roadblocks did you run into and trying to, one, pay back that debt, and then two, accelerate yourself and get to the next level?
It took, like I said, a lot of perseverance, man. So, I've had business, I had partners, that didn't have the same mindset that I thought. When I first, the story was when I first started, my wife now, her cousin, we was dating, but she introduced me to her cousin who was in culinary school. So I had the ideas, but I wasn't really a chef. I was a hood chef, just cook, for the ladies, whatever, the
And
house.
them the best chefs though.
Best chefs, right? Like, hey, how this taste, baby? How this taste? So I did that, and for a while. But when I partnered with him, I was like, I had a vision. I'm like, hey, let's do this. Let's do chicken and waffles. And then we came up with a nice menu and stuff like that, and we started selling. So me and him ended up kind of falling off. Matter of fact, I'll just tell a story. This one event. So we did an event. I'll never forget. We had a catering event going. It was a party bus going to New Orleans, a birthday party, whatever. Lady wanted X amount of wings. And so I remember the day was raining. We were supposed to meet at Walmart. And it was like, I was there ready. Luckily, I kind of pre-cooked some wings. There was a lot of wings, big order. Never did that big of an order. It was like 500 plus wings, whatever. Never did that. So I pre-cooked them like, the day before. Anyway, so the event comes. I'm calling my boy. He's not there. He's not answering the phone. So I'm like panicking right now because these ladies, they ready for their food. They ready to get on the freeway. We already meeting at Walmart. It's raining. They want to take off. They already gave me a deposit. Either they paid or they gave me half of it, whatever it was. So I just kind of had that was my roadblock was like, you know what? He ain't showed up. I got to get in there. So that was kind of like the tipping point for me because it was like, I never wanted to be in a position where if all my staff quit, then my business be closed. So I got in that kitchen and I got that order out. And I think they even tipped me like 50 or 100, some amount extra. But, my lesson in that was, I can't, one monkey can't stop the show. And I say that in my restaurant all the time. It's like, you know what? It's hard, but I had to become the mechanic at times. I had to become the cashier. I had to become but you got to do these things in your business or a lot of these businesses will close down. Especially, yeah. So, I mean, in a sense. So, yeah.
So how do you keep the energy though?
Man, it's kind of like, God. I mean, I think everything happens for a reason. I think God put me through different trials and tribulations, just to, as a learning aspect, because I could never open a restaurant without me having the experience of working in a food truck.
Okay.
Through the food truck, I've learned so many trials. I mean, you learn on a lower scale, like whether it's payroll, well, not just saying payroll, payroll, how to get a system of how to take credit cards and how to customer service. I used to be a waiter all my life. So I worked at every, waiter job, Dave & Buster's, Olive Garden, just to be short. So customer service, how to deal with customers, a food truck, it's face to face, so customer service was big. So all these tools already kind of, gave me, that, and it's like, my vision, because before I even started the food truck, when I was working at Dave & Buster's, I had drew a picture of what I wanted the truck. They used to call me Baby D because I was like the littlest on my line. I was a Trey, but they used to call me Baby D. So I had a picture. It's still in my restaurant, and it was like Baby D's wings. And this was like pre the truck and everything. So much before I got it. So my thing was like, you know what? I will write my ideas, my visions down. Like I want a truck. I wanted it to be red because I'm a Kappa. So I had to, be, and that's what kind of gave me the energy. It's like, you know what? I don't want to say going back. I don't want to say I didn't try it.
Right.
So that's kind of just might be my motivation. Like, you know what? People say they can't do it, but I'm gonna do it. If I fail, I'll tell you how I failed. Then I bet that next truck is gonna be way better. So that's kind of been my mindset.
So you did your inception started in Houston, and you moved the movement back. I'm gonna call it a movement. Like it's a movement. It is definitely a movement. And by the way, since your wife listening, I literally anybody in San Antonio listening, definitely. I'm coining them the first when I say the first couple, the
first family, couple, first song,
first couple of San Antonio. Yeah, like I'm the first power couple. Like the power couple of San Antonio. Like I've been your wife post stuff, man, and I sit back and watch the stuff she posts. And it's like, yo, she's speaking to me. You know what I'm saying? So that's a testament of the growth of you because you got somebody over here that is literally who's spitting visions to people that she don't even know she's ministering to. So you bring the movement back to San Antonio. What, if anything, and this is a question I want to ask to help other entrepreneurs in San Antonio, really entrepreneurs, period, because I got a homegirl, man, who's getting ready to who was actually she sells sunshades, but she's designing her own sunshade line, eyewear line, and she's getting ready to retire from the Air Force. But what's one of those things that moving into San Antonio, like, did you run into some of those preconceived notions or those assumptions that an African American male won't succeed in business in San Antonio if he or she is not a part of the mafia? Because like you got multiple locations for your businesses in San Antonio. Like how did you break that barrier, man? And additionally, how did you get people to stand behind you and support everything you're doing? Because we got a spot we're gonna talk about in a minute, and the pictures I seen on social media, I'm like, yo, what? Especially during COVID-19. But I want to know, how did you get this movement to San Antonio and not run into a lot of roadblocks that a lot of individuals are running into?
So I'm not gonna lie to you. I did not want to come back to San Antonio. It was like, after people that's in college or who moved to Houston and big cities, it took me coming back. I always said, so when I came back, the military kind of humbled me, because it was like, I came back, had to stay in my mom's house, but my mindset was like, let me get back to Houston. But I mean, in actuality, it was like, I was looking around, I was like, you know what? I'm trying to chase this Houston thing, and it's like, Houston is already taken care of. Houston it's so many. Why be competition when you could be out here and take over? That was my mindset. I was like, you know what? Nah, let me stay out here. So I sent for my truck, and that was huge for me, because I was like I told you, my mindset was like basic training, tech school. I'm going back, just like that song, going back to Cali. I was going back to Houston. Like, that was my mindset. But I was like, something like shifted, and it was like, you know what? You got everything you need in your back door. And I'm just really like kind of realizing, like, it's just manifested, like, just really God, like it's a testament how great he is. But so I moved back, and I sent for my truck, and I look around, and I set up shop. Oh, let me back up. Well, we probably can go back a little bit and by wing it, and like the restaurant's starting, but this is kind of like just just piggyback where it's gonna start. So right. when I met my partner I have now, he was starting a food truck. He wanted to start a food truck. He wanted to franchise. He reached out to me about franchising. I dealt with partners before, and he was like, you know what, I didn't want to do no partnership. I didn't want to do nothing like that, but I help you. So I kind of helped him when he found the truck, pick out like, hey, it's a good truck, close the deal, whatever. And he did his thing. So shout out to my partner Bernardo. He had a truck called Countdown Wings, which he did at UTSA. My mindset was going back to Houston, so I'm like, yeah, I help you start this truck, because I'm about to head back to the H. Because he want to sell wings. I'm like, it ain't no competition to me. So now thinking back, so it's like when I sent for my truck, it was in that same mindset. I was like, you know what? Okay, so he's over there doing his thing by UTSA. I come back, I'm like, I'm a little jealous. I'm like, okay, he already in San Antonio. Let me see what my truck could do. So that kind of shifted my gears. Of like, let me get my truck back, which I sent for it. I set up on the northeast side because he was by UTSA. So I was on the northeast side, and I was like, and I still got the little bug. I was like, okay, got my truck back, and then I ended up staying. I found an old restaurant in Kirby, and I kind of, like I said, I didn't want partners at the time, but it was like, you know what, I needed some help. Yeah. This is a big kind of challenge. So I found a Kirby spot, and I reached out to him, and I was like, yo, what you think about partnering up? Not sure, I forgot how the conversation went, but we end up meeting at my mom's house, because he sold his truck, and he had some money to play with, and I still had my truck, because my thing was like, you know what, we get this spot, I'm keeping my truck. Right. It's gonna be Wing Express, just in case this thing goes south. I still got my truck. So that was my mindset. Am I answering your question before? I want to jump too far ahead.
You answered it.
But yeah, I mean, we can piggyback up on it. But I mean, in a nutshell, like, I saw the opportunity to grow. San Antonio is so large. It's like, why can't our people be as popular as Houston, as Dallas? Why can't we be the talked about turkey leg huts of San Antonio? Why can't we have them lines like that? And that was kind of like my mindset.
So, okay, it's funny you say that, because you see the shirt I'm wearing.
Yeah.
everything you saying is speaking to why I started this movement or why I started hashtagging is because what you did was something that, in my opinion, I think um, black people in San Antonio have a problem with doing.
Yeah.
You didn't care about competition. Like you kept saying competition because you just like why compete? Why compete when I got all this over here? Why compete when I can do this? And then additionally, what you said was, I know somebody else in San Antonio
And
that
then I want to cut you off. And
go ahead.
then I knew that he already had a name in San Antonio.
Okay.
So, I didn't want to just, like, you know what? He was a club promoter. So he kind of, it don't make no sense for me to join up with somebody that didn't already was doing something for themselves either. He
Yeah.
already had it. He didn't need me.
Yeah.
So, when it just made us stronger because, and that's how it was. Like, he had a name. I'm coming back to a city that I ain't been here since high school, trying to open something. Why not collab with somebody that's already, and that's kind of what my mom said about it as well.
But the thing is, you just made another key statement. Y'all really didn't. He didn't need you. You probably didn't need him, but you saw the bigger picture.
Right.
And to me, man, like I ain't gonna even lie, man. Up until like a couple of weeks ago, I made a very strong stance that I don't think I want to do business like business in San Antonio because of the for lack of better words the lack of unity that I see in the city. But then I had to come back to Jesus me with myself and say, hey, like why run or why go here when we can bring all this to the city, but at the same time, who are the individuals that can speak, can influence and develop and grow the city to where they need to be? It's just maybe I chose the wrong people to collaborate with or partner with, and I had to sit back and just kind of reposition myself and look at people in the city that's like, okay, this person does something different, but I like the way they think. Like my boy Iman, neatly done. If you ain't getting your carpets cleaned by him, you tripping because like he's different. Like the cat has waterless carpet cleaning service. So like, you mean tell me I can get my carpet?
He need to collab with the wife. Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yeah, he need to collab with the wife. We might make
There
that
you
happen.
go. There you go. It's like, you mean tell me I can get my carpets clean and I can immediately walk on my carpets just 10, 15 minutes after you clean my carpets and I don't gotta let the house air out? Man, genius move. B. Michelle. Like the amount of knowledge and stuff. Me and her kind of talk about back and forth because sometimes she go west side Chicago, but the energy, man, and the passion she has behind putting small businesses on and promoting small businesses. I can go. It's a list of people in the city, but one thing that I hate is everybody is competing versus collaborating and putting up a unified front to where we can support Anika, we can support the Beamer Chefs, we can support the Nika Duns, we can support the it factor. I'm just gonna say it. Y'all start using it, give me a little change off the side. But the it factors in the city because it hurts because that's like this San Antonio has it's like it's the place to be. Especially if you're a veteran and you want to be an entrepreneur, you definitely can come to San Antonio and make it happen. So you got Winged started, and let me tell you how. Hold on, let me tell you how I found out about Winged, bro. I used to live in Shreveport, right? And they used to be and it was this video, man. Somebody came up with this song. It's about fried that chicken. You hear me? So I was like, okay. When I heard the video, I said, man, they must be from Shreveport, right? And the commercial, I played the video on YouTube, man, and it was somebody was standing on top of a food truck in front of the restaurant. I said, yo, I'm about to go drive 55 minutes on the other side of town to taste this chicken. If they got the audacity to go that hood on some chicken, that chicken better be good. And I drove all the way over there to your restaurant, man, in Kirby, man. And I was like, okay, I like the energy. And I shook my hand, gave you my business card, said, yo, man, like whatever you doing, I don't care what it is, I want to be a part of. We stayed hooked up, but I see why, because the way you moving, and of course I'm active duty, so the military keeps me going. But the way you moving, man, like I will be I will be surprised if I'm gonna throw a little hit out there if the shop don't migrate over to the far west side of San Antonio. Now I'm putting it out there. Iman on here checking out. But hey, Iman, we need to go ahead and sit down with Daryl and talk about getting some real estate on the far west side, so we don't got to drive an hour to get some chicken, or AKA some daiquiris. Speaking of daiquiris, let's talk about this daiquiri shop.
Yeah.
COVID-19 hit, and the daiquiri shop look like Krispy Kreme right now.
Man. I mean, really, like, I mean, we've been sipping it, man. So, so a lot of people didn't know that Wingit had daiquiris. We were selling daiquiris, man. Like, we had a liquor license about 3-4 years now. You know,
Yep.
so it's not new to us. So it was like, you know, me and my partner put our heads together. It was like, you know, why not build up a concept based on that? And you got to think about the profit margin on it. It's like 80% profit margin compared to, you know, a chicken wing, you know, waiting 15 minutes and then costing, you know. So, I mean, really, for us, it was like a no-brainer. It was just kind of like the timing was kind of perfect. You know, when we found the spot, my partner found the spot, and it was like, you know what? Let's, you know, and he didn't want to sip it. He didn't think it was cool. We did like a focus group, and I just texted a couple people that in my circle. And I was like, you know, hey, what y'all think about sipping? And I think it was another, he wanted to drink it. And anyway, so it was like, hey, I said, I thought sipping was sexy. And I was like, you know what? Sip it. Wing, sip it, you know? So.
But then, hey, that's what you do with a daiquiri anyway.
That's what you do, right? You know? So, you know, like I said, I'm a marketing guy, man. So we always like tussle back and forth. He's a criminal justice major. So it's like, you know, I'm like, man, bro, this is good. This idea gonna blow. So we had 2 machines in each location, and it was like, you know what? Let's do a concept. When he found a spot, we was like, man, this could be perfect for a drive-through style. We were thinking about. Yeah. So I mean, we went back to the drawing board, and then we just recently, I think a year or two ago, we just rebranded our Pat Booker location. So it looks different if compared to our Kirby location, is a little more older, you know, that's home. But our new location, or our city location, you know, we got a little modern. We had a fresh look. We had a professional company come in. So I said, let me reach out to them again, and they did their thing again on the interior. Their branding is nice, but then it's like, man, then a pandemic hit. We opened January the 23rd, literally. Yeah. So we was like, you know, my mind was like, you know, we're gonna have the inside. We can reserve for painting with a sip. You know, don't take that. You know, all that stuff. Like, already had the vision for the inside. You know, we had the beautiful, the ambiance was there. We spent money on that, and then the pandemic hit, and it was like, and we saw the ding ding. We was like, okay, you know, we didn't realize, hey, we might be on to something. You know, it got to the point of being so bad that the traffic would be like almost a mile long, and the city had to step in. The cops would like say, hey, y'all got to get out the bike lane. I don't know where your customers going to go, but they got to go somewhere. So it was like, man, you know, it was kind of like, come on, man. We just popping right now. So, I mean, this is after like weeks of already being, you know, lines out the door or whatever, out the drive-through, mind you, because we can't open the door, right? Pandemic.
Right.
We got smart, and we got a good crew over there. We got smart. So the back, it was a big lot. So if anybody know about that area in Universal City, it used to be an HEB. So it used to be the HEB back parking lot. So we got smart. We was like, hey, we got all this extra space. Why don't loop it around the other way? So we end up reversing the line. We end up reversing the line and zipping it. You know, we ended up reversing the line, and we was able to put about 30, 20 cars just in the back. So them same cars. So we was like, you know what? Now the cops have something to say. We still got 30 cars in line. We ain't tripping. So, I mean, and that's what it's been so far. And it's been a blessing, man. God been good to us. I can't give him enough praise for that.
All right, so you made a statement, man, and we gonna do a verbal agreement on the air so everybody hears. So you said you got a location set up for a paint sip. Now, I got a series I call my event Party in Pink.
Okay.
Now we spoke about you catering the wings to my particular event. Me and my boy DJ J Millie are already in the background and having a conversation. We're bringing part two of probably one of our biggest paint events back in San Antonio. So I'm thinking that we need to probably go ahead and on the air talk about making an agreement to come do some on that side of town at
Okay.
the location.
Okay. Okay.
We have to talk offline about, and y'all take care of the food and the drinks. I lay the concept out to you so you can understand. That way everybody can eat right. But at the same time, if you got a location and you already had something in mind to accommodate that concept, it's people that actually want us to come on that side and do our events on that side anyway. So why not? Why not
Yeah.
put money in your pocket,
Yeah.
and two, help the movement of the it culture again, the it culture it, if you want to call it, help that culture continue to grow.
I got you. Well, yeah, we'll talk more about it. We'll talk more about it.
All right, so man, we have this conversation is really going, man. But what I want to do is I want to capture some other projects that you're doing, so people just don't understand, so people can understand like you're not just out here doing business, man. You're actually putting forth the effort, and you're putting back into the community. So Tag Team and your wife has cleaned it, right? And then she has her. She also has what I would say, if what I'm following in the posts that she's making, she has Seek It. What is, like, I know your wife's there, but what is Seek It?
So Seek It it's basically a component. It's a bigger picture to it. But for right now, it's gonna be we're launching our apparel line.
Okay.
And it's basically in a sense, it's like, you seek God and He'll give you the desires of your heart. But at the same time, it's going back to seeking whatever you manifest, you put into the earth, speak into existence. So
Matthew 7:7.
Exactly. So and that's what we want to kind of embark. We want to come up with a line that you be proud to wear. Like if you want to look fine, whatever. You want that significant other. Seek that person out. Or you want that business. You got to speak it into existence. So that's kind of like in a nutshell what that's going to be about. That's launching real soon. We already kind of got the website up and running, trying to get the little kinks out with this COVID stuff like that. But yeah, that's what it's about.
So you just mentioned COVID. So what's one of the, like, what has been the biggest benefit of this whole COVID situation? Not outside of Wing It, like I'm talking spiritual, vision wise. Like, what has COVID done to kind of help you guys push your movement forward?
It's helped. I think our marriage is definitely, I think, definitely it's allowed our family to think outside the box. Seek It was manifested. It came about during COVID,
Okay.
Starting a nonprofit, started because of COVID, actually doing, we're in the process of writing books, my wife, so at the same time, I think it definitely, put it into perspective of, why not now? Because, at the same time, I'm starting this thing. Sometimes I do procrastinate. Sometimes, whether like I should have wrote that book a long time ago on how to start a food truck and stuff like that. So it's kind of giving us the time to, okay, let's focus on these things that's been on our list that we've been neglecting. Like I had an idea of doing like a nonprofit when I was in college. But it's like, it's never the right time, never to have the financial means to do it. And, I think COVID just kind of put everything into perspective. It's like, what? No time. It's no time like the present.
Yeah.
No time like the present.
And I would have to agree with you, man. Like, one of the biggest things for me, man, is I would come up with like the coldest idea, man, and the greatest vision, man. But for me personally, I get to, all right, I got this concept. I got all the information, and I did the market research, and then it's like, okay, execute. Nothing happens, And it's like one of my partners told me, man, I should consider coming up with a think tank and basically developing ideas, creating a market strategy, and then selling that concept or idea to somebody who can execute. I talk to my sister about this all the time, because it's like my brain doesn't stop. Um, it doesn't stop at all, and that's one of the things that COVID has done. Is it actually I'm kicking myself in the rear end, man, because the idea that I came up with back in 2015. Uh, I really probably could have been the guy with this COVID thing if I really, well, if I would have went on ahead and pushed through and just put the time forth and the energy in developing that concept. However, it's never too late to start that. I have started that. I got a team of guys that I'm working with to develop the idea and concept that hopefully when we develop it and create it, it becomes a situation where everybody can win with the situation. So additional to that, what's the now if I got it right, what's the Heart on Wheels?
Okay, so the Heart on Wheels Foundation is something, man, I've been pondering about for like years. When I even back in the food truck, the first idea I had of it was, I always have a big heart, and sometimes, in life we have big hearts, you want to do more. So I wanted to embody like a nonprofit where we can give back, whether it's the homeless or, back to school or drives and stuff like that, having that outlet, because sometimes, and then you find out in business real quick that you can do a lot of things, but you're not going to get that funding from
Right,
HEB without that 501c title. Or you can't, you can do an event, but it's going to come out your pocket. And then it's
right,
more of a loss at the end of the year than, at the same time. But I mean, just that giving back, that back factor, I always wanted to be a philanthropist in a sense of like, it's needs in the community. And, we're able to have this 501c now that we can, do these trainings. I think mentorship is big. Mentoring the youth, because a lot, I see it all the time, even with, hiring, how to come to an interview. I see, countless, of our black people or black men coming in, any kind of way for a job interview. And I'm like, so, but it's that mentorship. They
right,
might not have that father figure. They might not have that, and it took me going to, coming from college, Kappa saved me because, I was that same person that I see out here in San Antonio that's, maybe not necessarily doing the shooting and all the stuff like that, but I was that person with the grill, with the dread. I had dreads and, so, it took me going to college and seeing a better life and then seeing our black people, doing more. And, it always struck a light to me, like, what, it's more to do. And it's in San Antonio, it's too much. It's too much. So, I
yeah,
think it's definitely, if we have a position to do more, to give back, we always have to give back. We always have to, and that's kind of like, kind of been my take on Heart on Wheels. My heart's always in the right place. It's always in the right place, but not the right time or something like that,
yeah.
so it's kind of like, that's what it's about. Your heart is always, on wheels, always spinning. You want to give, but you can't, or whatever it might be.
So how has like this empire you created? Um, what part of this does your children influence?
All of it. Because I don't look at it like, whatever business we start, I think I look at more of legacy. I look at the word. I look at you know, families like the Kennedys and the Rockefellers of the world and stuff like that. I want traditional wealth. My family didn't have I didn't come with a trust fund. I didn't, like these fortunate families. I see it on TV, but when I always tell myself when I have kids, this is I'm grinding for my kids. I hustle for my last name, not the first. Um, and that's what I stick to. That's what I stick to. It's about family at the end of the day.
Okay, man, like those when I say those are words to live by. Hustle for your last name, not your first. I can definitely agree with that. So you said you didn't have a trust fund. You said you came from not I would never say hard not life, but you definitely had a mentality where you was just living. You said what did the Kappas do to save you though?
Really, it changed my whole perspective. Whether it was just dressing, I remember like times, I come from San Antonio thinking I'm look good, but they got suits on, and I'm like, hey, you know. And then I try to get a suit, and it's one of them package suits that come with a tie and the shirt. And they like, what? I mean, I had many times, you know, felt so bad thinking I'm so fly. What is this Steve Harvey you got on? Like what? Like, you know, these ain't you need to get tailored, sir. You know, so you know, it grew me up so fast, and it's like, and I played my freshman year, so you know, coming from San Antonio, I was San Antonio, creased up, Air Force Ones, you know, I was clean. So it's like, you know, being in that reality, it kind of, in a sense, like I said, it made me grow up. You know, it made me want to be more dapper, more clean, you know, clean cut. And then, you know, tying a tie and like, I didn't know how to tie a tie, you know, learning how to tie a tie and, you know, just kind of, you know, it kind of just, it transitioned me to be more of a, you know, professional in a sense. You know, the professionalism is definitely what I definitely took away from Capital.
And see, the thing about me is for dress, man. I had a grandfather and a dad, man. Like for me, I had both spectrums. So I had I had the uh, I had the class over here and I had the hood over here. So literally, man, I just learned honestly. I just learned what a phrase was. You know, when they say the other side of the tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Literally, they used to in California. I listen to a lot of podcasts, man. This podcast called Earn Your Leisure. If you never heard of it, Earn Your Leisure
I was about
podcast.
to tell you about that, man.
Uh,
Oh
um,
my gosh, I'm gonna be on there one day.
um, Actually, we're gonna talk after this. We got to talk. Um, there was a conversation where they talked about in California the way they divided rich people and poor people is through the railroads.
Mm.
So when you hear the term they from the other side of the tracks, they they from the rough side of the neighborhood or the area. So my dad was from the other side of the tracks, and my mom was from where she was from. So I had the benefit of getting the chance to have a real life visual of both sides. But my dad, man, my dad was GQ all the time. My grandfather was GQ all the time. So for me, I didn't know what I didn't know. I came from an era of even if you was hood or not, GQ was the way to go. So when I got to Korea, man, I literally was like, yo, I'm about to be like my daddy. I was going to the tailor shops, man, getting suits tailor made, getting the snake skins custom made, all this. Cause at that point, man, it's like, man, I'm about to be like my daddy. Well, I'm about to be the modern version of my daddy. Um, so dressing was never an issue for me when it came to the job interviews. What was the issue was how to present myself. Like that's one of the things you touched on really bad. What was big was with this mentorship program. When you do that, is present yourself is going to be key when it comes to trying to get any type of job, whether it's McDonald's or whether it's getting a job in corporate America or working at a bank or USAA or something like that. Presentation is a lot, and presentation just not even doesn't even capture what you look like. It captures what you sound like as well. So, man, with the, with your with your mentorship program, by all means, man, you better count me in as one of the people on the team to help you do whatever it is. I don't care what it is.
Oh, let's get it, yes, sir.
So we've been going for a little bit less than an hour. I got an hour slotted time, man. What I want to do is, we talked about you being a father and how being a father has inspired you. We talked about the husband piece, and we talked about how anybody listening, like if you got a business, if you got a dream, a vision, and you know it's going to saturate your time, ensure that you know how you need to incorporate your significant other because your significant other, y'all a team. You make it, he or she makes it, so on and so forth. What would you tell anybody right now that's dreaming, that's living in the moment right now, that has a business and they are at that point, at that pivot point to where they say, man, people ain't support me like I need them support. I'm not getting the money that I need. Like, what would you say? Like, what encouraging words would you say to anybody that literally wants to give up on something that could potentially be the next big thing?
I mean, of course, I'm gonna say seek it, but at the same time, it's like I'm I'm a religious person. I mean, I'm not religious. Not I wouldn't say religious, but I would say, I believe God, has something, has a purpose for everybody, and I believe that, taking that, whatever it is, taking that step of faith, but seek Him, and He'll show you the desires of your heart. Like and that's what I'm trying to embody. Not just saying like you could start something, but you got to start something with a foundation. You can't just kind of go out there, and you can. It might be successful for a week, but where's your foundation with that? What, and that's kind of what keeps me. So I would tell anybody, like I said, seek Him first, but at the same time, don't give up. Why not? Don't ask yourself, 30 years from now, like I should have did it, shoulda, coulda, woulda, or like you said, that idea that you didn't do, that somebody else might have came. I had plenty of ideas that, I swear I would have, came up with this, would have been a billionaire by now,
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, especially in these pandemic times, I think I said something from Ash Cash. He said something about the most millionaires and billionaires will be made during COVID. No, millionaires and billionaires will be made, and there's another what he said. He said, and then there's spectators or something like that. So you got like these three. You got people that's gonna be becoming millionaires and billionaires during COVID, and then you got these people that's just gonna be stagnant, be the same people, just onlookers.
Right.
And so I would say, have that mindset of not just being an onlooker, right? Have that mindset of, what, I can be the next Mark Zuckerberg. I'm in the lab right now developing the app, whatever it might be, and just take that risk. Why not? Why
So,
not?
yo, and you, what you're saying is 100% facts, man. And it's words, it's inspirational words to myself, because again, man, like I sit back, man, and man, my sister, man, I talk to my older sister a lot about like everything, especially with the ideas and vision, because I'm very passionate about establishing projects that help put people to the next level. And man, I promise you, man, I know we talked about it the first time we ever met, man, but I am even more excited about doing a project with you here in the near future, man. And I really don't care what it is. I don't care if it's painting the walls of your restaurant, to put a mural up with a message. I really don't care, man, because I think, man, I never met your wife, man, but just some of the stuff she put out there in the atmosphere, man, it's like, I can see why they win. You can see the unified front from both sides. Is like you can tell that when you do something, when you produce something, and then she comes back with the wording, it's like, wow, okay, I can see that. I can really see that. So for everybody in San Antonio, everybody worldwide, man, understand this, man. Single or married, but for the married folks, man, it's really, even though it's your idea, it's a team effort. And for your single folks that's out there, man, doing what you do, develop or create what's called your personal board of directors, man. People that you trust, not people that you love, but people that you trust. That's going to give you the cold hard facts about what it is you're doing, and not just say, hey, it's a good idea because they care about you. They're going to tell you why it's a stupid idea, or they're going to tell you why it's a great idea. And that's why, like I made a post a couple of weeks ago, last week, I said, man, I love how my circle, man, gives me the unfiltered truth. When I came up with the concept of this shirt, or just the phrase collaborative competition, I had people like literally saying, okay, this is stupid, this is why it's stupid, but it's also a great idea if you angle it this way. They didn't just say it's stupid, or they didn't say just like it, because it was me. They gave me no truth, unfiltered truth. And that's what you need in your life, y'all. It's like, find people that's not going to say it's cool. One, it's cool because if you look bad, they look good. Or two, it looks good because they don't want to hurt your feelings. So without further ado, man.
I was about to say this. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, a lot of times, people, they're prideful. And I know it's a lot of that, in San Antonio, a lot of people prideful and don't like, I can do it by myself. They don't want to collab because, but I mean, everybody needs something. Everybody needs that push. Everybody needs, sometimes you got to get out your own way, and it could be pride, So yeah, man, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Man, 100% correct, man. And that's part of the, again, part of the fabric of these conversations is one, man, is everybody has a story to tell. Everybody has lived the underdog life, and I want to highlight the underdog, and I want to highlight how the underdog made it through the nose and the roadblocks of whatever the situation is, and also be an inspiration or a light to somebody who is currently sitting at a roadblock, and open up the forum to where, hey, I started this conversation. Can I reach out? Can anybody reach out to you? If they want to reach out to you and ask you for some help or advice, can they reach out to you?
Yes. By all means, I never want to be that person in a position where I have the knowledge and I can't share it to somebody else. I've done in the past where I try to reach out to somebody that's successful and don't get nothing back. I don't want to never be that person. So
Yeah.
if it's now if it's too much, now you might have to get that consulting fee. But I mean, like I said, I'm definitely Mr. Smith Consulting, do that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, man, definitely. I'm open for any kind of knowledge I can give.
Yeah, shout out to and I gotta send a shout out to, because you made a comment. Shout out to my girl, Shadonna McFall, aka Mo. She's the same. Like I made a post, man, about that whole sharing knowledge, and she was like, man, people got to pay me for my knowledge, but I get it, and if you're ever in a situation where you need consulting like yourself, I got a homegirl, veteran, Air Force veteran, Shadonna McFall, aka Mo's Hero, or the Mo she's out of North Carolina. And I got some people that I'm probably going to connect you with for some collaborative efforts that are also Air Force veterans that have businesses in the near future. But definitely, man, don't be afraid to ask for help, especially since I know you majored in marketing. I'm getting my master's in marketing right now. I'm definitely going to be hitting you up on the side. And if you go ahead,
I might have to hit you up. I might have to hit you up on some ideas.
Hey, it's there. Hey, the word no does not live in my vocabulary. It's hey, I maybe not be able to do it this way, but let me figure out how to help you get there type of response. But definitely, man, I'm looking forward to put some effort in with you in the city. We're gonna get ready to check out of here, but one thing I gotta do is I gotta give a shout out to my sponsor and support team, isthecity.com. Yo, this is an application. If you haven't downloaded it, you need to download it, man. It's the next wave. It's one of the next waves of communication for promotion and getting your businesses and getting your ideas out there and being able to collaborate and connect with a lot of other people who are like-minded on a different social platform. Download the app. It's Is the City. Is the City. And if you want to reach out to the team, they're the ones who actually did the artwork and the layout for the conversation day. You can reach them at info@isthecity.com. They do websites, web designs, photography, videography. The work is great. Shout out to my girl B Michelle for also assisting. And if you ever in San Antonio, I'm a little upset about this, but if you're ever in San Antonio, hit up the east side of San Antonio. Is it northeast or just the east side? All on the east side. Yeah.
Right now we on the northeast. We're in Kirby, University City. We got a Cibolo location coming soon this August in Cibolo, our third location. And then we got the food truck that operates on Fort Sam Monday through Friday.
All right, y'all hear that? If you ever in the city, you got Sip It, you got Wing It. And I guarantee you, no matter where you go, capital IT, it will not be disappointing. I guarantee. I've been to both locations. I was at the grand opening for Sip It. And I had to do a birthday party at the event center right across the street, which is also another black-owned venue on that side of town. And man, when I got over there, they had the food truck outside. The inside was packed. So, ladies and gentlemen, if I find some pictures that they posted on social media, I will post them on my page to let y'all know how serious his locations are. And again, follow my pages, Dope Conversations on Instagram, Dope Conversations on Facebook. I will be reposting this conversation. I will be posting certain quotes that we pulled out from Mr. Smith, and just mainly more so inspirational. And if you want to jump on the show to tell your story, by all means, inbox me. I love the story of the underdog. So Mr. Daryl Smith, I really appreciate you. Tell your wife, thank you for letting me steal about an hour and 15 minutes of your day. And we definitely got to get both of y'all on the show one day just to talk about your empire, and your movement that you're creating, slowly creating in San Antonio.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll do. Okay.
All right, y'all. Happy Sunday, man. Peace out.
All right. Bet.
Yeah, dream of copping rollers, now these houses on me. Funny how the facts really be our homies. They don't understand, I'm tryna be the man. You chasing after a bitch while I chase the bag. I just want it all. Young nigga bossing all. How you hate a nigga that's just running overtime? Yeah, time is money, so baby don't hit my line. I've been grinding for a while now. I can do this with my eyes closed. My baby wanna see me making shit. The realest one is in my circle. But I gotta keep it smart though. Can't find a nigga like Waldo. I be all up in the studio tryna write the next hit. Why you worry about the next bitch? She ain't worried about you. And I'm still in that Mazda. I don't really need a coupe. 4-door for your friends, baby. Don't hesitate to bring them through. Anything is possible, but you know I got the juice. Rolling with the ones that keep it A1. This is for my dogs, know where I came from. Man, it's all started from the bottom. Shit, I turned my dreams into a profit. I got it. Dream of copping rollers, now these hoes is on me. Funny.